All right, guys. Really looking forward to this walk. It's an area I've been wanting to go back into in these woods for a long time. There's no water on it, so in the picture of my kit at the beginning of the video, I got two canteens with me. I've got my full canteen set, and then a spare canteen over here. So I got 2 liters of water. It's been raining like crazy, so I might be able to find some water back in this area. So got my water filter on top. Everything's in a dry bag. Uh, Crazy day today. It started out in the low 40s. It's now 57, and it could get up to as high as 65. It's been overcast and then sunny, and the rains are supposed to come in again in a couple hours. So just I've got my pack, and got my waterproof Anoric, and I'm ready to go. So let's go explore. All right, so 2 liters of water. Like I said, I should be fine. That should last me all day. And I brought a freeze-dried meal and a couple of sachets of coffee. But I'm hoping there'll be little ditches like this I can drink out of. I drank coffee at home, and if I don't know if you know, but coffee will dehydrate you. Uh, so the first one of these, besides this, I come across, I'm gonna drop my pack and get my water filter out and hydrate really well before I set off on this trail. So I've got a pretty steep climb, and this goes and goes and goes till you come to the top. And then the area I'm wanting to explore is to the left. My camp is, you can take this old road, um, and it'll eventually just stop. And it's an old logging road. It's blocked off. You can't get on it. Nobody's been on it for years. And so my camp is off in this direction, probably a mile and a half that way. But we're going up and to the left. So, all right, I made it to the top. Now you can go that way and then drop back down, and you'll come to an area, an old creek bed. Turn right on it, and it goes out most of the way to my camp. But the way I'm wanting to go, and I never come in this way, hardly ever at all. But I noticed this one day, and I looked on a topo map, and it looks like probably an old logging road, but it turns to the right, so we're on top of a mountain, so it's going to have to drop down. And I think it's going to come out into an area. If I stay on it, I probably won't walk the whole thing today, but I think it eventually comes out in an area where I set some trail cameras one day up on top of a mountain. So I'm going to see if I can find a little water up here somewhere and hydrate, and then head that way. Yeah, this is either an old logging road or where they'll put cuts where they're clear cutting and push brush and stuff. But I haven't seen any brush so far. I've got to drink water soon now. I'm really parched. I've come to a nice area. I see a nice straight limb up here for a walking stick. And I haven't got my canteen out yet. I just went, just a few more yards. And this water was blended in so well, you couldn't even see it. So I'm going to get my canteen, cut my filter out after I cut me a walking stick, and have a drink. That way I don't have to get into my canteens yet. So in a lot of my other videos, I go through the kit that I carry, and I really don't go through why. In one video, I did what I used and what I didn't use. So I think I'm going to start doing that in all my videos. So you saw in the picture the things I brought. So as I use those items today, I will call them out, and we'll see if I brought too much or not enough. I can tell you one thing: if it really starts lashing down, the one things that I didn't bring that I'm going to wish that I had is my leg gaiters. I knew where they were. They're in a storage box in my garage, but honestly, I was just too lazy to walk down there and get them. So we'll see how that goes. But I just used my Garberg and my Laplander to make this little walking stick and a little stick for my my phone to make a little monopod, and I put a little tip on the end of it. So next thing is to get the water filter out and hydrate before we go on. These little long pockets on the side of these caramels are perfect for gear like that. Here's another trick for you. If you lay your jacket under your lid, take your cinch cord and put your jacket, raise it up, put your jacket in it, and then cinch it down. That way, if it works its way out, somehow you got an extra layer of protection there. I know this is a lot of precaution that I'm going through, but I tell you, man, if you ever got back in the woods and ran out of water and have to cut your day short, it sucks. This thing normally has a better flow rate, but half of it's in the water and half's out. All right, one more thing. A lot of times when I come out, I normally bring a poncho with me. I love ponchos because they cover your pack and everything, but I don't know what kind of area I'm getting into. It could be thick, so I need the freedom of movement that a waterproof jacket gives you. So my pack won't be covered, so everything in here is in a dry bag. So I've got to get in here and get a few things out and then finally hydrate and then head on down. Getting hungry. So I can't decide what to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back this way. I'm going to go all the way back out. I should be able to do it in 25-30 minutes if I don't stop to look around. And then back to the main area where I turned to come in here, drop down the road. I know that creek will be flowing down there, and find a place to sit down there, because I like to go where water sources are and look for animal tracks and signs and stuff anyway. So I'll bring you back when I get there. So I decided to just go into my camp because it's not that much further. All right, so finally made it here. It's 2:45. I'm starving, so it's time to eat. I'm glad I brought my little gas pressure stove. guys haven't tried the turkey dinner casserole by Mountain House, do yourself a favor and try it, man. It is freaking amazing. So yeah, man, it's time for a coffee, lunch, maybe an apple or some cookies. So I like the jet boil, but I can't get used to the idea of bringing too much plastic to the woods. Not from a tree hugger standpoint, but more so from a standpoint of cleanliness. Um, I mean, you know, there's a little bit of a window right here or gap, but this windscreen, I mean, you can see this is almost the same thing as a jet boil, except for this right here, but I believe the jet boil has holes in it also. So I can't justify buying one when I can have, metal. But with that said, they sure are cool. So who knows? Everybody knows I'm a gear junkie, so I'll probably wind up getting one day. And that's definitely enough water for a coffee and that Mountain House meal. I will say one thing though, the Pizio lighter, however you say it, on the jet boil is a lot better than this Snow Peak. A lot of times I have to strike it several times to get it to go. You know, something else too. I love the heavy cover canteen set. It's probably my favorite. But the only thing I don't like about it is there's no measuring lines, and that drives me crazy. So what I was thinking about doing was getting like a scratch-all or a center punch, but I'm afraid I'll punch all the way through it. And, marking fourth cup, half cup, 1 cup, cup and a half, and 2 cups. We'll see. I know what I can measure by. These little snack bags have fourth, half, and 3/4 and 1 cup on it. So to help me not burn myself, I'll set it in here. Yeah, and then pinch it and pour the water in and measure it. There, it didn't take long. Had to put my fleece shirt on, man. I sweat a little bit. It's kind of a rough walk. So I had to put this warm layer on. Man, something tells me I'm going to burn myself. calls for 1.25 cups, so I'm going to fill it all the way to the top. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. And I'm telling you, that smells just like Thanksgiving. Tastes like it too. Yeah, so to show you guys something. When I'm out hiking, tramping, exploring, whatever, I really don't like to wear a belt knife that it just hangs down. I don't like wearing a thick leather belt. I've got a thin belt on today, and I really haven't noticed the hip belt on the backpack. But when you got leather on, it really cuts into you, man. It really gets these nerves in here good. I don't always like to wear a neck knife either. So my favorite knife to carry when I'm hiking in my pocket is I've got it attached to my belt here, and then it's just my Swiss Army Huntsman. That is I've had this pocket knife for, I think, right when the Huntsman came out, and they offered it in black. I got it. It's a great little knife, man. It's what I like about it most is it has a saw on it that I've used today, and I used the blade for a few things, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a great option. And I've got it on a quick detach, like a little night eyes. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And it's got like a little hook right on the end here, so it can make it just a little awkward to get off sometimes. But you can either take it off here or leave that attached. What I normally do is just remove the string and leave the carabiner hooked to the knife. And then once I use it, just take the loop that's in there and just press down and just drop it in your pocket. And then I've got it hooked on with 325 paracord, so it's not going anywhere. And then if I want the whole thing off, I just feed it all through that loop. I made the loop big enough where I can fit the knife through it if I need to. So anyway, let's stir that food. Look at that, man. Chunks of turkey, chunks of dressing, green beans and celery. There's carrots in here. It says 4 minutes, but I don't need it. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes, and I'm fixing to just devour it. All right, I'm going to get a move on and see if I can make it back to the car before this rain comes in and avoid having to put on my rain jacket. But all packed up. Yeah, it's only 4:20, so I'm going to take my time walking back. and just see what I can see. Anything interesting comes up, I'll show you.